Attention, the following broadcast has been approved by Outcasted OC. Viewer discretion is advised. Incoming transmission in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
What's up guys, Megan Ross here giving you this week's Smackdown review, and there's a lot to unpackage, so let's talk about it. So we open with Smackdown being in Chicago, and lo and behold, because it's Chicago and they have Chicago's Second City Saint on their roster, they bring out CM Punk. Kind of expected, especially after what happened at Clash at the Castle. Obviously I'm not going to be happy about these scenarios, but it pays off later. Yeah, so he comes and says he's on live TV and it's great to be in Chicago on a Friday night. He states, being in your hometown is always pressure. Making promises to your home people is always pressure. Saying you will be a champion in your home state and your match is at your hometown is pressure. And he doesn't want to kick a man while he's down. But Drew McIntyre has been doing that to CM Punk for so long that he got his revenge because he's from Chicago and that's the only option he knows. And he planned out to kill him. But he said, not kill him because I would never gloat about that, but kill his career. I was attempting and went out of my way to bury his career 6 foot deep. And said I didn't think it'd be this easy because if you guys didn't see, Drew quit. So we very quickly have it stopped after that for Paul Heyman coming out with his very famous "Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Paul Heyman." But then his whole voice was very shaky and scared. He said it wasn't out of disrespect. CM Punk, that man right there, sat next to my kids when I was inducted into the Hall of Fame, even when I was still being the wise man to Roman Reigns, his head of the table. And I still called him my best friend, and you are now, and you still will be. I need a favour from you, and I'm coming in a desperate time. That they hug it out. Paul Heyman said he needed that, and said they were listening to sports radio on the way in, and sports radio referred to CM Punk as, well, Chicago as CM Punk's town. And that upset Solo, because Solo being the new head of the table, every town should be his. Everyone should be acknowledging him. He's basically forcing the acknowledgement, whereas Roman Reigns had it naturally come to him. But yeah, Paul Heyman said, like, look, I really want you to leave the ring now before they come and get you, because Solo is angry and you're my friend and I want you to get cleared. We see a lot more play out as well. He said, if you do this favour for me, I have a favour from you. Solo comes out and says, if you want to be on my show in my town, you got 2 options: pay your respect to me, or we make sure you're never cleared. So Heyman looks at Punk. Punk leans over and goes with his mic, so Heyman, what was the favour you wanted? He said, take me with you. Yeah, that didn't go great. So Punk goes, I acknowledge them as not the bloodline stood in front of me. I see a pair of fake ass Usos and a cheap cosplay head of the table. They go to surround Punk while Punk throws off his jacket, looking like he's ready to fight. In comes Cody Rhodes sliding in with a baseball bat, throws one to CM Punk to even the odds, and the bloodline very quickly leave. This makes sense because of what happened at Clash at the Castle, where Cody got jumped after his championship match, and then they make the main event Solo vs Cody, where the bloodline can't get involved and Cody will not get Randy or Kevin Owens involved. That very much quickly derails, but we will get into that. But yeah, Bianca versus Michin versus Chelsea Green, Money in the Bank qualifying match. I thought the match was pretty good. It was quite quick. Just before the match starts, though, we do get Cody Rhodes backstage. Had Randy and KO trying to talk some sense into him, saying you can't do this one-on-one. It's not going to be on one-on-one. They are going to jump you. If you need us, let us know. But whatever your decision is yours. If you have a plan, you have one. But I think that plan very quickly derailed. But yeah. The match starts with Michin and Bianca both focusing on Chelsea, punching her like back and forth a lot. This match was pretty much divulged into who can hit heaviest strikes, and then Chelsea Green decides to go take it high risk and does a dive that takes all of them out, which I thought was awesome. We also see Chelsea trying to steal these opportunities between Michin and Bianca. Michin hits a Styles Clash, and that only gets a 2 count, and then Chelsea tries to steal another opportunity on Bianca, doesn't get it. We also see a KOD from Bianca, but as Bianca hits this KOD on Michin and goes for the third, Chelsea basically throws her out, makes it sure she can't get the count, and then Chelsea gets the count for the win. The match was very quick, fast paced between all of them. I was so happy Chelsea Green won. No offense to Bianca, but I don't want Bianca in the Money in the Bank match because she's already been champion, and I want the Money in the Bank to do what it's meant to do, which is elevate talent that haven't had those championship opportunities on the main roster. So Michin and Chelsea Green, either one of those two would have been really good wins for me. Chelsea Green made more sense. I think it's going to work perfect, especially if she actually wins the Money in the Bank. I can see this whole gimmick of she keeps complaining to management of they're not fast enough when she's trying to cash it in, so she revokes the cash in because the refs are taking too long, or the guys get up and they're not knocked out, things like that. And if she does also win, it means Piper Niven can also help her, by Piper Niven can knock out the current champion and get Chelsea to do the pin. We will see where that goes, though. I don't think Chelsea is going to win, but I feel like she is a very strong contender for like the last two on the ladder. We also then get Blair Davenport and Naomi having a qualifying match confirmed because Bayley was watching backstage and Blair Davenport walks up to her and says, "Oh, tell your little friend Naomi I can't wait to beat her in my qualifying match. And when I do qualify, I can't wait to win Money in the Bank, be Miss Money in the Bank, and cash in on yourself." And then walks off. Solo staring down Paul Heyman backstage in their locker room, very angry in the facial expression, but very calmly and quietly says you want to leave with Punk. And Paul Heyman shakes his head saying, no. And then Solo was like, well, before you go and leave with Punk, I need you to tell the Tongans that KO and Randy do not qualify. You make sure that's your main task. That's priority over you guys qualifying. Audio went, but Wade cleared it up later on the night, so that's how we know what was said. And then he says, after that, me and you need to talk, and kind of grabs like Paul Heyman's tie. So it's like, are you trying to threaten him or not? We will have to see where that goes. But he's like, yes, sir, we'll do that. Thank you, sir. Grayson Waller got a qualifying match coming up, and they have a quick backstage interview. But that gets interrupted by Johnny Gargano and Tommaso Ciampa calling him out, saying that he's not having a tough time with his tag partner not here, meaning Austin Theory, because Austin Theory is recovering. Waller doesn't care. He sacrificed Austin in those moments. He's just using him. And as soon as that happens, we start hearing massive bangs and crashes on the shutter door. The shutter starts lifting up to check what it is. We see a lifeless body of CM Punk on the floor and someone quite tall standing over him. As soon as it pans to like the waist and the torso, we instantly know it's Drew McIntyre because he's wearing his famous black vests he always would. And yeah, he basically walks, like lifts Punk up, walks all the way, even walks through Gorilla, drops him on the floor, and just basically steals his Chicago bracelet off CM Punk's wrist, puts it in his pocket, and then just walks off. CM Punk gets put onto these clip-on stretchers to then put into an ambulance, and he's going to get further looked at throughout the rest of the night, so he will not be there. But it could be that his close to being cleared has been postponed longer for this feud. But yeah, we now have a qualifying match between Tama Tonga, Randy Orton, and Carmelo Hayes. I thought this match was perfect. I really enjoyed a lot of it. Carmelo and Tama Tonga lock eyes at each other and realise, yeah, let's team up on Randy. Randy's the veteran. So they start going at him. But that quickly derails when Carmelo Hayes tries to roll up Tama Tonga for a 2. There were definitely announced desk table spots where Randy was like, cool, we're going to put you guys through the tables. That got stopped by Tama, stopping Carmelo going through it. Then Carmelo stopped Tama going through it. So then Randy was like, cool, no, you're both going through it. And he did one after the other, which looked brutal but really cool at the same time. We had some really cool stuff where Randy hit a superplex. Tama would apply a sleeper hold, and we also had Carmelo Hayes hit what I think he calls first 48, which is basically the equivalent of like a code breaker that Jericho does. It looks so cool the way he does it because he really gets the height as he hooks it in. But yeah, Melo and Tama both keep fighting over to who get the pin. Carmelo stopped Tama getting a 2 count, goes to pin himself, doesn't get it. That turns into a scrap between all of them. Randy gets both of them on the outside, hits a vintage Orton on the pair of them, which just always looks perfect when you see that. You see the match opportunity about to finish. Tanga Loa runs down to stop Randy doing an RKO on his brother, Tama Tonga. And then Tama Tonga looks like he's ready to hit like his face buster cutter is the best way I can explain it. They still haven't confirmed what the name's move is called. But yeah, that gets interrupted as well because Kevin Owens comes down and fights Tanga Loa. So the whole match divulges, and Tama Tonga gets thrown onto the outside as Randy goes to get Melo. Melo takes the opportunity, rolls up Randy for a 3 count. So Carmelo has qualified, which I think is absolutely incredible. Jey Uso, Carmelo Hayes, that's already really strong, and the next people that qualify after as well just make this more and more interesting for me because there is a lot of high fly potential and a lot of crazy moves that can happen off the ladders with the people we already have. We get LA Knight walking down to the ring. He says, "Let me talk to you," and said, "Let's not waste any time. Come on, Logan Paul, bring that title down with you." I stared down into the barrel and said I wanted a shot at the title. That didn't work. But straight up said no. I rocked up to your house, Logan, and I got a phone call from Nick Aldis saying you're here tonight, yet you still don't want to show up. So doesn't matter. We got a qualifying match next week in Madison Square Garden. You can't avoid that. So as soon as I beat you there, double the fun. I'll get the Money in the Bank briefcase. I'll find you. Maybe I'll cash in so that way I can steal that US title from you. Who knows? And then Santos comes out a bit furious, coming out basically saying you're underlooking me. I don't need to be invited to come into. You need to remember who you're dealing with type promo, which made sense. LA Knight says, "I've already beat you. You're clearly a fan favorite," because everyone was booing or just dead silent when he was out. And just said, "The amount of times I've already beat you, I'm not looking at you, I'm seeing through you. Like, I'm looking past you. It doesn't matter, I'll beat you again." Santos tries to hit him with basically power slam. LA Knight counters, hits a BFT, but as he hits the BFT, lo and behold, Logan Paul runs out of nowhere, grabs him, throws him into the ring barricade, and then hits him with the titanium steel punch he has. But yeah, that was interesting. We get KO, Andrade, and Waller's match. This was arguably my favourite match of the Smackdown tonight. I really loved everything Andrade did. I'm a huge Andrade fan anyway, so it was kind of biased there. But yeah, as KO went to walk out, the Bloodline jumped him, so he was not 100% in this match. You could see Randy Orton comes out to save, but the damage was kind of already done. Andrade goes straight for the spinning elbow on Waller and nearly gets a 2 count. That move is that devastating that it usually ends people. That was his finisher in AEW, but he's now made a new one in WWE called The Message. But I love the spinning elbow. I think arguably that's still one of his coolest moves he's ever done. But yeah, we get some cool spots where there were huge kicks on both on the outside of the ring. Then KO does a clothesline that takes Andrade into the ring, which I thought, oh, that's quite nice. I like the movement of that. We see an amazing Andrade run, does a flip like a Canadian Destroyer style to like power slam Waller onto the outside. We then see them all fighting back in the ring, strike for strike, like kick for kick. And then Andrade gets the lucky momentum out of this of going both people in the corner, KO one side, Waller the other. So he goes coast to coast with his knee strikes that he's known for. Owens gets both of them with a power bomb from the top as they were both fighting on top of the ring, where Andrade was hitting top rope forearms onto Waller. And then, yeah, KO hits his swanton and goes for a stunner on Andrade, but Waller hits KO's leg, so KO struggles to actually get the pin, throws him on the outside. And then as it looks like Waller's going to do his finisher, where he does the run outside, diving gambol hit, he couldn't do it in the time because Andrade countered it straight away into his finisher of the message and wins via a feed count. As I said, this men's Money in the Bank qualifying match looks incredible already. I'm fully happy with this because we've now got Jey Uso, Melo, and Andrade. That's three good high flyers, three crazy guys that will be like, yeah, we'll do the spots. And even the women's, like, already having Chelsea Green in that matchup against Io Sky, I think that's going to be interesting. I know a lot of people aren't happy with Io Sky being back in the match. I'm not either, but as I explained to G and a couple of my friends, I think it's because they like to always tease the factor of a previous Money in the Bank winner potentially going back to back. I don't think Io will, and I don't see a placement where that makes sense in this scenario, but I still like the idea of what could happen if she ever did. But we'll have to see where that storyline goes. We get Michin and Tiffany getting quite heated backstage towards each other. Tiffany making some comments. Michin once again snaps and slaps Tiffany like how she did Nia a couple of weeks ago. And Nia comes to the aid of Tiffany and slams Michin straight into the locker. And they kind of smile at each other. Is this an alliance forming? We'll have to see in the next couple of weeks of SmackDown. But it was cool. I liked where that storyline is placing itself. We then land to the main event of Cody Rhodes vs Solo Sikoa, and there isn't much wrestling to talk about because the match gets pretty much ended quite quickly. So Cody still has that vicious side from when he was at Clash of the Castle with that match against AJ Styles of the I Quit. Cody finds ways to slam Solo into the stairs, to the ring, makes it look really harsh, one to his back, one to his shoulder, and then as he goes into the ring to start hitting cutter, like the Cody cutters and also doing the crossroads, it gets interrupted by Tama Tonga and Tanga Loa running out and jumping Cody, which I kind of expected to happen at this point, where it's like, cool, the match is just going to DQ. No one can actually keep to their agreement of we're going to fight in the match like we said we were going to. So they don't. And then what very quickly happens after that, I am fully here for. KO and Randy come out to even the score to help out. As you can see, Tama Tonga and Tamaloa are thrown on the outside and Solo is left on his own. He's like panicking in the corner like, no, don't. So then, as all three get quite close to him, he kind of lifts himself up and starts laughing. Very like, I've one-upped you, I've outfought you. And as we very quickly hear the crowd erupt, a guy with red tinted dreads, very long hair, and tank top with very strong arms runs in, smacks them down, starts going ham on everyone there. Jacob Fatu is in WWE. He is with the Bloodline. He has aligned himself with Solo Sikoa, and I love this. My pop was huge because I literally had a moment of, wait, which one is it? Because there's rumours Hikuleo is coming in, and because of how quick they ran in the ring, I was like, But then I saw the height, and I was like, no, it has to be Jacob Fatu. Turned around, saw his face, knew it was Jacob Fatu. So the Samoan Werewolf is aligned with the Bloodline, and they finished the show with making Jacob Fatu drag Cody Rhodes onto the announce desk and doing what he does best with his flying frog splash through the announce table. And we had the really cool moment of Solo and Jacob hug each other and throw the one up. So the full team is there of the Bloodline. This new Bloodline versus old Bloodline storyline is what a lot of people are wanting to happen as a war game situation. But I think initially we are going to have Solo and his team versus Cody and his guys for a while because they keep teasing that more than anything. And then I think after a while, once Jey Uso's done his stuff, once Jimmy Uso's done his stuff, both separately for a bit, then they'll bring it forward because Jimmy's going to align with Jey at some point now after Jimmy was kicked out of the Bloodline and was beaten that badly. We haven't seen him return since. So it'll be interesting what comes of this. And I'm fully here for all of this. I love what's going on. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. What was your favourite bit of this SmackDown? for me, arguably a very solid SmackDown that started playing with the storylines and progressing from not just Clash at the Castle, but ones we've teased for a while. I know a lot of people were expecting the Wyatt Six, but they alluded to it. They got more security because of the Wyatt Six. Even Paul Heyman said this security is for the Wyatt Six, not for some Tamatongans and Samoans. So, what's not to say the Wyatts are free agents? They can go to whatever brand because it seems that way. So, let's see how this occurs going forward. But yeah, once again, as I said, if you like these videos, hit the bell notification. Don't forget to subscribe, comment your favourite moments, give it a like as well. And yeah, stay tuned for all our podcasts that we do and the other reviews we have. We have a Monday Night Raw review coming up, and we always have an NXT review, and then every Thursday is our podcast episode. So see you guys on the next videos. Bye.